Welcome back, Patriots. Welcome back to Sons of Liberty 1773. I'm your host, Bill Bailey, who will be channeling the patriotism of America's founding fathers. Today is December 31st, 2023, year of our Lord. While the relentless assault on our limited government constitutional republic continues and is only going to get worse as we head into 2024. Once a political party figures out how to corrupt elections, to seize power by usurping the will of the people, that nation is doomed to failure. There are many examples of this in modern history. We ourselves sadly witnessed that firsthand in 2020, when the Democrats, with the help of rhinos and the deep state, worked together to steal the 2020 election to stop Trump and restore their godless anti-America agenda. The 2020 presidential election was rigged, and the American people were robbed of their sacred votes and their clear choice for president, Donald J. Trump. It's clear that America has been on the road to ruin ever since. We have amassed overwhelming evidence since 2020 of the stolen election, and more bubbles to the surface almost daily. Here's an article just posted at the Gateway Pundit. Going viral, new evidence suggests there was never voting machine election audit performed in Georgia following 2020 election, even though Brad Raffensperger said there was. So he's been caught in a lie again. And by the way, this evidence has been exposed by our election integrity warrior, Brian Lupo, a.k.a. CanCon. There is currently no evidence that there was ever a voting machine election audit performed in Georgia following the 2020 election. On November 17, 2020, Georgia Secretary of State Brad the Rat Raffensperger made an announcement that an audit using forensic techniques was completed with no sign of foul play in the 2020 election. The statement previously appeared on the Secretary of State's webpage and is still available via the Wayback Machine. Let's look at it. Secretary of State Brad the Rat Raffensperger last week ordered ProV&V, a U.S. election assistant commission certified testing laboratory, to do an audit of a random sample of machines to confirm no hack or tamper. ProV&V found no evidence of the machines being tampered. Here's what Brad the Rat said back then. "We are glad but not surprised that the audit of the state's voting machine was an unqualified success," said Secretary Raffensperger. "Election security has been a top priority since day one of my administration. We have partnered with the Department of Homeland Security, the Georgia Cyber Center, Georgia Tech Center experts, and wide range of other election security experts around the state and country, so Georgia voters can be confident that their vote is safe and secure." It now appears allegedly that was a lie. Just a few days ago, the Vigilant Fox posted on X, new evidence suggests that there was never a voting machine election audit performed in Georgia. Was it all just smoke and mirrors? According to the record, not one county had records affirming or even suggesting that ProV&V, the voting machine testing company, did an audit out of their equipment, meaning the proof is not there that the 2020 presidential election wasn't stolen. No big surprise, right? We know it was the big rig followed by the big lie. You know, the big lie that it was the most safest and bestest and most securest election everest in the whole time of human history. And we know that, the corrupt elections just aren't in Georgia. They were in Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Arizona, California, and many other states. Sadly, with all the obvious lawlessness exposed in our electoral process since the 2020 coup, not a freaking thing has been done about it as we head into 2024. Republican-controlled legislatures had the legal ability and duty to restore free and fair elections in America, but they didn't do a damn thing about it. They did nothing Too many rhinos were happy Trump lost and refused to address our corrupted electoral process. Americans must know the electoral process is 100% secure and that their votes count. That every American trusts the results of each and every election, regardless of who wins. Without that trust, why would Americans take part in voting? When Americans no longer pick their leaders, our country ends, as will our freedoms and liberties that will succumb to tyranny. We are witnessing that now. Since nothing has been done to restore election integrity and end the corruption that happened in the last 2 elections, why would either side trust the results of the 2024 election, regardless of who wins? The simple answer is they won't. That imagery right there you're looking at is just from literally days ago. Tens of thousands of foreign invaders are marching into America illegally. And this is by design, folks. Non-government organizations with tens of millions of dollars are seeking these people out, giving them a roadmap of how to get to America, where to go once they get in America, and then they are planning to get these people into key cities, and I can guarantee you swing states, get them registered to vote before the 2024 election. And Trump just commented on this yesterday. Here's what Trump said. This at the Gateway Pundit also. Trump warns Democrats will use migrants to win election. Says they have been signing them up to vote at a rapid pace. Unfortunately, the corrupted electoral process that was in place in 2020 has only got worse in states like Michigan and some of the other swing states. Nothing has been fixed. And you know, restoring election integrity in America isn't a complex issue to rectify. It's actually quite simple and costs little money to fix. All our government officials have to do is go back to how America ran honest and secure elections for well over 200 years. No machines, paper ballots only, same-day voting, voter ID, hand count only, and the only ones who can vote by mail are deployed military personnel or someone that has a physical disability. That's it, folks. It's fixed. They could do this overnight. Yet our politicians are willfully choosing not to do so. They want corrupt elections going forward. They are setting up our country for disaster, a certain catastrophe that is only months away. Shouldn't every American be asking why they are choosing to do this to our republic? Seriously. At the moment, it appears that our politicians actually want America torn apart and embroiled in a real civil war after the 2024 election, because that is what is going to happen if they don't take this issue deadly serious. I think of politicians that I just despise, like in Michigan, Ed McBroom, which wrote up that BS report, fairest, most wonderful election ever. There was no issues with the election, and you should go after Matt DePerno and arrest him. Basically, that's what the report said. Doesn't tell you that Matt DePerno had sued him before and that he's got a personal vendetta against Matt. But even for the politicians and the Americans that truly believe there's nothing wrong with America's electoral process, they should consider this. This is from a Rasmussen poll taken April of this year, earlier this year. Election integrity. Most voters suspect fraud. A majority of voters suspect recent elections have been affected by cheating and believe officials are ignoring the problem. It's obvious to Americans that our elections are corrupt as hell. I think 70% of Republicans now don't trust the electoral process, and it's approaching 40%, 38, 40% of Democrats. So for all you politicians out there, you corrupt bastards, ignorant assholes, whatever you want to refer to yourself as, but if you truly believe that the elections are fair, and along with other Americans, You have to realize that a majority of Americans no longer do, and that it behooves you to make them people feel like their votes count, okay? Even if you think the system is honest, they don't. They have to be able to trust the system. So you have to restore election integrity so that Americans trust our system again. But they're choosing not to do that. It's just not good. So I really believe as we head into it doesn't look like they're going to change anything, right? So we're going to have a very flawed system that no one trusts as we head into next November. And that is setting us up for pandemonium in this country. I really believe the choice is election integrity now, fix the system before the next election, or deal with the aftermath, which is probably going to be civil war. Democrats are going to be fuming mad if Trump wins. And Hillary Clinton started this BS, right? Back then, I actually think it was, I think they had corrupted the process, but it wasn't corrupt enough. I think they thought they were going to walk away with it, and Trump won. And right away, Trump's illegitimate. Trump colluded with the Russians, and they had the machines. Remember that? They brought them in and showed how the machines could be easily corrupted, and Russian hackers gave Trump the election. But then they got their act together, and they made sure that they took it in 2020. And we're dealing with the aftermath of that, right? They call the big lie. The big lie is it was the most fairest and bestest and greatest election in the history of humanity. We all know that's bullshit. So anyways, if you're new to this channel and can relate with the content, please subscribe, check mark the notification bell, give this video a thumbs up, and please comment down below, as I love reading your comments. As always, my friends, keep praying and keep prepping. May God continue to bless this great nation, and may the good Lord keep you and yours safe. Until next time, Sons of Liberty out. See you guys.